What's up guys? So I hinted at this in my video on texture mods, but today I will be taking a look at the Regrowth biome series, which is an absolutely gorgeous, very vanilla feel group of mods to make your maps just a bit more alive feeling and just a lot more visually pleasing. So there is the ReGrowth Core mod, which you're going to need to run any of the other regrowth mods. The core mod alone does have some noticeable tweaks to the game, but still very vanilla feeling. So let's take a look. Here we have, like a vanilla temperate biome. And when we turn ReGrowth Core on, we can just see that vegetation is denser. It just feels a bit more realistic compared to vanilla. Also, we have some new higher definition textures for vanilla plants. It is subtle, but that's how I like it with mods like this. Another thing to point out is that on like a regular vanilla temperate tile, all trees of one species are exact clones of each other, just like flipped back and forth. But with regrowth, there's actual variety added. Like the shape of the trees are actually different. There's a few different varieties. So it just looks a lot better and a lot less like copy and pasted. ReGrowth Core also adds a new bush type to any biome where bushes grow, and that would be raspberry bushes. A fun thing is that it also adds bathing as a form of recreation. Under your zones tab, you create a bathing zone, and pawns will go there to relax. It fills their recreation need, and if you use Dub's bad hygiene like I do, it also works on their hygiene need, so it is compatible with Dub's. ReGrowth Core also adds some small but visually impactful effects. Any tree that loses leaves in the winter will actually have little leaf graphics spawn around them throughout the fall, which is super cute, and this does not have like an impact on performance. And this is a big one for me, marsh finally moves. The fact that marsh water was completely static was a big annoyance for me in the base game, so I absolutely love this addition. And lastly, it adds little dust devils that can actually cause a little damage to you if you stay in their path, which I'm not showing here because I accidentally lost my recording of it. Oops. ReGrowth Core also adds more weather types. We now have overcast, where you can see shadows from clouds moving across the landscape, which is pretty. Windy, which can increase power output from wind turbines, but it reduces ranged weapon accuracy. There's drizzle, which is just like rain but lighter, so same effects as rain but lighter. Monsoon, which is very heavy rain, so increased ill effects of rain, reduced weapon accuracy, fires getting put out. Pawns get a debuff from being extremely wet. There's foggy snow, which is obviously just reduced visibility snow, and a blizzard, which is frustrating to try and play in, to be honest, because I can't see what's happening. But I guess that's quite immersive, because such would be the case in a blizzard. And there's also hail, which can actually hurt your pawn, potentially, so you should probably take cover, and sandstorms if you're in a desert biome. Which, as far as I can tell, the only issue that they cause is your pawn will get a debuff for being sandy, and they'll also have reduced move speed out in the storm. The ReGrowth Core mod also adds one additional biome called grasslands. This is a grassy plains with very few trees and a lot of herd animals. So you can see on this tile we have some buffalo, deer, ibex rams, hares, turkey, and it looks like 3 predators, 2 wolves and a fox. I mean, honestly, I prefer this to arid shrubland. Alright, so that is it for the core. Now let's look at the 6 additional regrowth add-on mods. These are very small mods that enhance specific biomes with just a few additional plants each. There are actually a few more than I show in this video, but as far as I could tell, not all of them have been updated to 1.4, so I'm only including the ones that have been. So in this video, we're going to look at ReGrowth Temperate, ReGrowth Boreal, ReGrowth Tundra, ReGrowth Swamp, ReGrowth Aspen, and ReGrowth Extinct Animals. So first up, let's look at ReGrowth Temperate. As a reminder, here we have Vanilla Temperate, and this is with ReGrowth Core and ReGrowth Temperate both enabled. So ReGrowth Temperate adds 6 new plants. It adds tall grass, which slows your pawn's speed to walk through. It's hard to see, this just looks like big, short grass. We'll see better visuals of this in later biomes. It also adds ivy, a fern, these purple wildflowers called cathedralis, and a new type of mushroom, Siberia, which is a tiny yellow mushroom, and it is exclusive to this biome. It also adds a mushroom called wax cap, which doesn't actually appear in temperate biomes. It only appears in the grassland biomes. Also, there are so many planes passing over my house right now, so sorry if you can hear them in the audio. I'm trying to only talk when there's no planes, but it's getting old. And then it also adds an additional tree type, the Cornish pine, which I really like. So, I mean, overall, temperate biome looks way better with this mod, in my opinion, than vanilla. So next up, we have the ReGrowth Boreal. This mod just adds plants, a boreal fern, cold hearts, which is this beautiful red flower, these little orange tiger lilies, a new type of mushroom called the Potocus. Here's what I love. It adds 3 new colors of pine tree, like kind of 3 new variations of pine tree. So we have orange ones, which, you know, stunning, autumnal. Blue ones, again, stunning. Somehow autumnal, even though they're blue. Absolutely adore this. And then these tall ones. I love these new pine trees. I'm going to be playing in boreal biomes from now on. I mean, I already do, but even more so now. And you know what? We can just look at this marsh shimmering and moving again. So glad that's part of the regrowth mods. Now we'll look at regrowth Tundra. So the Tundra, I think, looks way better than in the base game. So first of all, you can see that we have a bunch of like bramble variation, color variation. So it's not just green brambles. We also have like, you know, kind of brownish, yellowish, orangish, and red. This new kind of ivy plant called Crimson Cushion, a new type of mushroom, the Testacus, a pine tree called Tundra Pine that I love the look of, unsurprisingly. This new little plant called Tundra Cotton, which you can sow in a grow zone, but it doesn't appear to be harvestable. You just cut it, so I'm not sure about that. And then it adds lupin, which you will also see in the boreal biomes. You might have just seen some in the past clips that I was showing because there's overlap in what biomes some of these plants grow in. Lupin is one of my favorite flowers in real life. I think it is so beautiful, and I love the way Tundra looks with regrowth. Now let's look at regrowth swamp. So this add-on adjusts like swamps and cold bogs, but it seems to be more geared towards cold bogs. It has a few plants that it adds that are exclusive to cold bogs, and when I loaded it into like a tropical swamp, I didn't really notice any difference. So what we're looking at right now is a vanilla cold bog, and now here it is with regrowth. You can see that our bog trees have kind of been subtly retextured. So I think they look better. And what might jump out at you right away is that we have these like white trees around. So what this mod adds is a couple willow color variations. So instead of just the identical kind of pale green willows, there's also white ones. I think there's like gold ones, and there might also be a pink variety. I haven't seen those on this map though. Obviously we're just getting green and white here. It also adds some ivy called creep stern that is just going to grow in your cold, wet biomes. And dervish, this cute little blue flower, which is exclusive to cold bogs, along with a new mushroom, which is also exclusively cold bogs, and an additional mushroom called a swamp pod that looks like an eyeball, and I hate it. And it's not exclusive to cold bogs, but it will only grow in like swamps or bogs. It won't grow in like temperate or rainforest or anywhere else. But I'm not a fan of the way that that looks. I never really play in swamps or cold bogs or anything, but I do think maybe I'd be willing to give it a try now just because the map does look more appealing to me. I hate the lack of buildable area. All right, and last but not least for the regrowth biome mods, we have regrowth Aspen. So this one actually adds an additional biome called Aspen Forest with colorful leaves nearly all year, very harsh winters, pretty, cold to mild-ish summers, basically a very autumnal feel year-round. It's a very, very gorgeous map. So some new plants that we have. First of all, we have the aspen tree, which looks like the vanilla birch tree, except for it comes in yellow and orange. We also have some aspen grass and aspen fern, like a nice burnt orange. It adds this new type of yellow ivy called saffron cushion, a new little flower called a mountain flower, which is red, a little purple flower that grows in large clusters called a death bell, and a new mushroom called a bog beacon, which is called this because it actually provides a little bit of light at night. So here you can see in this aspen forest at night, all these little bog beacons glowing. It's giving dead marshes to me. It's giving don't follow the lights. And the last mod that we're going to look at is Regrowth Extinct Animals. So this mod adds 11 new, very vanilla feel animals to the game. The modder actually commissioned Aaron, who is another modder, to create these graphics. So you can be sure that these animals really fit in well with the vanilla game. So overall, I would say the majority of these animals have kind of like an Ice Age feel. There are a couple dinosaurs. Other than that, they don't feel like too ancient. So we have a woolly mammoth, from which you can get milk, woolly rhino, which produces wool, woolly stegosaurus, which produces wool and eggs. And also in cold biomes, you'll see an Arctic drac, which you can use to get eggs. You can also use it in fighting. These are predators. In our warmer areas of the world, you might come across a saber-toothed squirrel. Okay. Velociraptor, no thank you, but you can get eggs from them and you can train them to use them in combat. Megalonhydrus, which is like a giant blue otter, which is a predator, so watch out. A terror bird, which you can get eggs from or use in combat. The name kind of gives it away that this could cause your pawn some terror. You don't want to be on the wrong side of this. And a Thrinaxodon, which also produces eggs, which, I feel like looking at it, I wouldn't have guessed that I'd be getting eggs from this creature. There's also this deer, the Synthetion added, which just has some weird, horns going on here. And then last but not least, the lovable bumbling dodo bird here, which obviously produces eggs. So there you have it, an overview of ReGrowth Core and the 6 Regrowth add-on mods available for 1.4 currently. But let me know down in the comments if you already use Regrowth or if you will be using Regrowth after seeing this video. I know I'm going to be using it permanently from this point forward. So there you have it, folks. Feel free to let me know what mod you would like to see featured next. And as always, thank you so much for being here. Until next time, take care of yourself and I'll see you soon.